Again, Blue Lives Matter out at Kirby City Hall. The serfs are out. I came early in case any of the other serfs decided to show up with their pitchforks and torches. Either way, when I say I'll show up with a pitchfork to a city hall meeting, I'm not joking. I'm crazy that way. The idea, again, is to remind them that the citizens have the right to redress their governments. And, you know, you can look back to old movies where you see the citizens, you know, storming the castle, and the queen sitting up in there going, oh, let them eat cake. That's how we feel sometimes. So, this is Blue Lives Matter. This will be a short clip. I'll use it later. They had early voting today. Poll times were from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm out here a little after 6 p.m. They have their meeting at 7. So we've already witnessed the mayor, one of the council members go inside. They're keeping the serfs outside for now. That's usual process for them. But anyway, we're out here. We're doing our thing. Got a couple of citizens walking by probably going, what the heck is this guy doing out here with the pitchfork? But again, we show up when governments act like tyrants. You need to treat them like tyrants. You need to remind them that the citizens still have the ability to protest, and that if need be, we'll come out and speak on every item on their agenda in accordance with Texas state law. In order for them to limit the total amount of time speakers may speak on each agenda item, it would have to be reasonable. You have 11 agenda items today, and they seem to think that 27 seconds is a reasonable amount of time to speak on an agenda item. And I'm here to tell you it is not. And I'll give you an example of that starting at 7 seconds. Starting now. Your Honorable Mayor, City Council members, my name is Tori Reese. I run Blue Lives Matter. I'm here to discuss the right of the citizen to speak in accordance with state law. You misquoted state law 511.007. You left off 4 important words on each agenda item. I'm sorry, my time to speak is over because you've limited me to 27 seconds per item. You see, you have representatives from VIA. Thank you, VIA. Thank you. You have representatives from VIA showing up here. I wonder who would have called VIA and told them Kirby tried to pull this shady shit. What kind of son of a bitch would rat City of Kirby out like that to VIA? Well, they're going to speak on their mind too. So it is what it is. But again, citizens have a right to speak. Open government, that's what it is. And we're here. We're not going away. So, coming up to where these other fine gentlemen are waiting to speak. How you guys doing today? Doing good, doing good. I'm recording. If you don't want to be on that, I'll keep it this way. But either way, you know the gig. I know you guys aren't worried about that.
Is that a gig stick for flounder? That thing in your right hand?
It is actually. No, this is my pitchfork. I actually use it on the ranch for shoveling horse manure.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's a pitchfork, and it's here's a prop. Citizens got their pitchforks and torches. They're not happy about that. That's the motive behind it. It's not intended as a threat or anything about, but that's why.
Because I've seen something like that to fish clown.
Yeah, people use it. You see little barbs. But yeah, I actually use this to shovel manure and hay. You can tell it's pretty beat up and old. I'm not sure if you know or recognize who I am. I do.
I recognize you.
Okay.
You came to our
Christmas party.
party.
Yeah, I'm the guy who crashed the Christmas party. Tori.
Tori.
Yeah, Tori. They call me the homeless hippie. Blue Lives Matter. I'm also the one who dropped dime on Kirby pulling this to you guys. So.
Oh yes, Bob told me. Come on.
Yeah, you guys know I'm vocal, and I tell you when I think things are wrong. Despite the fact that I do a lot of things on VIA, I gave you guys a lot of time off and moved out of the area. And then recently one of your supervisors did something stupid. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but it's a continuing issue. I'm doing what I do. You got to know I have to follow the law because there's no love lost between me and officers. If they see me breaking the law, I'm going to jail. But that's not really what the problem is. The problem is that supervisor weaponized your officer because he didn't like me filming in public. And he doesn't even understand he's putting the officer's life at risk and my life at risk. It doesn't matter that I carry a weapon or body armor. That's not how he's putting that officer's life at risk. Your officer's standing out on a public road addressing something he should never had to get out of his car over because your guy's saying, oh, I don't like this guy, I'm going to call him out. So anyway, that's one of the things. Within the last month.
Okay.
And
there was another gentleman, where's the body cam that you do that came to our board meeting 2 weeks ago? Kind of a stockier guy. You know
Bald?
Yes.
Okay, Jack Miller.
Jack Miller. Okay.
He showed up late because Jack and I, we worked together. He'll be here tonight.
Okay.
But I believe his intent that day to show up to the board meeting was to let you know about lawsuits and one that was happening.
That's what it was.
And I didn't want to.
Dr. Trammell,
Right.
our deputy CEO.
I didn't want to be seen as, or make you appear to think, oh, these guys are working in coots, because we do work in coots. Don't make no mistake about that. But I didn't want my presentation to you to seem like, oh, he's here threatening a lawsuit, because I've always been prevent lawsuits. I do have a lawsuit with SAPD, but hey, they blew their chance. They did it multiple times. So
Okay.
he'll be here tonight.
Okay.
But he kind of watches over the rest of the auditors. He likes to think he's our daddy or something, and he's active and he does his things, but he has some good points. He brings things to our attention, kind of like I brought this to your attention, because I'm like, VIA needs to at least speak so the citizen knows how this will affect them. You're not going to change. They have the vote tonight to do what they're doing. We're not going to change that. But at least you can speak, and the citizens that care will hear it. Again, I do what I do, and it's never been malicious or spiteful. After the officer did that, I did go back down to VIA, and I pointed out to another supervisor. I said, I wouldn't be here filming you parking in a bus-only lane. I wouldn't normally care about that, but because your supervisor's out harassing me, I'm going to come back out and document things that you guys need to work on. And again, it doesn't matter why I do it. If it needs to be worked on, it should. But, just like a lot of other people, if you poke the bear, we poke back. And as you can see, I poke back the way I poke back. Humor or...
pitchforks and torches.
Right. So, and you can laugh about that, and some people will, or you can laugh that I crashed your Christmas party. Hey, guys, it's the only way I can get you to hear me, then that's what I do,
Hey, no, you had every right. Absolutely.
Exactly.
It wasn't a crash at all.
Well...
We got to do citizens to be heard anytime we have a quorum before board. So.
And you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, your officer didn't understand that and threatened me with arrest. But hey, maybe he learned. I don't think so, because he said he'd do it again. But again, we do what we do for that reason. The meeting today, I'm out here to speak about the rights of the citizen to speak. What I'll cover, and it's the same thing with you guys. Laws changed in 2019. You can limit the rights to speak like you guys do on your ADT meeting. Do you remember the time I showed up?
You have to speak to an agenda item.
Right. Now on that, you didn't include that on your memo, but it's a policy. And I respected that day. I said, okay, well, I didn't know that because it's not on the memo. You had no agenda items, but you had to sign up to speak. So I assumed, okay, I can open speak. On me, you guys corrected. I'm like, okay, they got me, but next one. Here, we have a limitation of total time that anyone can speak on all items, which violates Texas law. But they went off of an attorney general's opinion. I'm sure you guys may have looked over it to limit things. But that's KP 0300, which started up in Johnson City or Blanco County, where they wanted to push everyone to speak at all items at one time. Fair enough. You got to
Is
make.
that what San Antonio does?
It
They
is.
do it the day before, right? 'Cause
Right.
There's just so many.
Yeah, there's just too many. It's insane. So they can do that, but the county also said, well, can we limit the total amount of time they can speak? And the Attorney General wrote, yes, but it has to be reasonable. It has to be based off the total number of items on the agenda. You know, what's reasonable is a matter of law and fact. So to determine that, you have to sue, and then a court decides. But so the Attorney General would not say in that opinion that 3 minutes is reasonable, even though that's what you look across the state of Texas. That's why, because of, you know, case law and history. So recently, the Attorney General's office, William Hill, he goes by Bill Hill, but either way, he's the Assistant Attorney General. He summarizes the Attorney General's opinions, and he cleared that up for governments to make it clear. He specifically said 3 minutes per item is generally reasonable. But again, reasonable, I mean, they have 11 agenda items today. That would be 33 minutes for each person to speak. That's
here all night.
Exactly. So again, we understand, but when they say, for example, the item that they're bringing up for 8E, it has 3 different components on it. I can't even cover vias in 5 minutes. I can, because I'm going to cut my point short, but I'm not going to do that. That's why you guys are here. You're going to make the point for me. But okay, I'm just confirming. I'm going to record that. I've been kicked off the property for demanding my legal right to speak. Chief Cardona, what would happen if I don't leave? You would arrest me. You would arrest me for... Okay, so if I don't leave, I get arrested for trespassing. I'm leaving. I told you I would.
I'm just trying to help you.
No, I appreciate it. I just needed to document what would happen. Now, folks, notice she leads me out. We're critical of police all the time, but this is what we expect from police. She's not behind me pushing me out with a pitchfork. And she'll follow me out with a pitchfork later, and I'll joke about that. But this is good leadership. If you notice, she had my cherry Coke in my hand. She's helping me out. That's a politically correct way of saying she's shooing me out, not giving me an excuse to collect my items, whatever. She's getting me out in a timely and efficient manner. By the way, Cherry Coke is the official sponsor of cop watchers who audit VIA. Thank you, Cherry Coke. Compliments of SA210 Cop Watch. Again, she leads me out. I knew I was going to be let out. I chose the time to be kicked out. And because I chose that time, I did not have my pitchfork in my hand. I didn't want to be a threat to any officer. So she'll go back in and get my pitchfork and follow me out to the parking lot with it in her hand. Perfect opportunity if I wanted to be a prick of a cop watcher to show what would look bad on this officer. But it would be a misrepresentation of facts. That's a good police chief.